Has God ever asked you to do something bigger than yourself, but you have allowed fear to take over and stop you from doing it? Welcome to the first episode of Born Again podcast. I'm your host, Caroline, and I am so excited that today is finally here, you guys. This has been a crazy journey, and I am doing it. I'm doing it scared. I'm doing it afraid to make mistakes, but hey, here we are, and let's get started. Before we jump in with the message, a little bit about me and how Born Again came to pass. Um, Originally from Dominican Republic. I am 24 years old. I'm a wife and mom of two, and my journey with God has been a roller coaster. From going to knowing absolutely the bare minimum about God. He created all things, He's the creator. He has a bunch of rules, and we have to follow them, otherwise, we're going to get punished. To having one foot in and one foot out. And you guys, if I'm honest with you, the lifestyle I had was securing me a spot in hell. But by the grace of God, here I am, safe, made a new woman. And so Born Again is so special to me because back in 2021, that's when I decided to stop living a lukewarm life and to fully surrender myself and start changing my habits. And in 2023, I got baptized. And I remember when I came out of the water, I felt like all of this heavy burden had been lifted off my shoulders. I truly felt all my sins being washed away. I felt new. I felt whole. I felt this fire inside of me for the Holy Spirit. And I just wanted to share that. I wanted to share the love that God had made me feel for Him, how loved I felt by Him. I wanted to share how I was made a new person. I was made a new creation. My heart was changing. The things that I did was changing. How I view sin was changing even more. And I wanted to share that. And I remember at the time I was reading John when Jesus was speaking with Nicodemus. And he told him, if you want to enter the kingdom of heavens, you have to be born again. And I remember that that word stuck out to me because he brought me back to the day of me getting baptized. Because that's how I felt, you guys. I felt like I truly was made anew, that I had born again. And I was at work when God said to me, podcast, and you already have the name, Born Again. You already know what you're going to name it. And he downloaded in my brain so many episodes that is crazy. Like he was giving me everything I needed in order for me to share the gospel, from in order for me to share everything that he was teaching me and that I was learning at that moment. And I was so excited. And I was gonna use my husband to do the audio engineer because he's an audio engineer. So I had everything I needed. I didn't need a camera. I was gonna use my phone. So I was ready to go until I allowed fear to creep in. I allowed fear to stop me. The fear of what are people gonna say? I mean, some people don't even know that I'm a follower of Christ. They're gonna be judgmental in the comments. We know the social media. We know the social media is not very nice sometimes, and I was so scared of being held in this place of judgment. And I was so scared of the unknown. I was scared because I felt unqualified. I was immature in my walk with God. I was a baby Christian, how they call it. And I didn't know the whole Bible. There's so many things that I still don't know this time because I haven't read the whole Bible. And I felt like a hypocrite. I was like, how can I sit in front of a camera and tell people don't have sex before marriage when I myself did it? How can I sit here and tell people to not do all these things that I partook in it? And there's a lot of people that can comment in the comment sections. She did this. Why is she talking about all of this right now? And so God had to tell me, Caroline, that is the whole point. That is the whole point of the title. Even though you did these things, when you accepted my son in your heart, you were made anew. You were made a new creation. Those things, I already forgave you for them. So keep going. But no, I started focusing on the superficial things. I don't have the right clothes. My hair is not done the perfect way. I need to lose weight. So many crazy things that I allowed to stop me from actually putting this podcast out. And that was in 2023, you guys. It's 2025. So you can see how long all those things had a choke on me. I was very disobedient and I didn't want to move. I I didn't trust whatever God was telling me enough. I didn't have faith enough that he was going to guide me through and tell me what I should say, which I found in the Bible. It literally says that the Holy Spirit would give you what to say. You don't need to know. The Holy Spirit, when the moment is the right time, he will give you the words to say. And so last year, I decided to actually move in faith. I was like, okay, Lord, I'm telling you that I have faith in you and they're going to do all of these things that you have promised in my life. Yet I was not even lifting a finger. I just wanted God to make it happen. Like when we read the Old Testament and some things just happened, that's how I was expecting God to show up. I was just, okay, yes, I have faith that you can do all these things. And I wasn't even lifting a finger. And this is when I remembered this verse. Is in James chapter 2, verse 26. As the body without the spirit is death, so faith without deed is dead. You guys, faith can move mountains. Abraham found favor in the eyes of the Lord because of his faith. God made a promise to Abraham years and years ago before it came to pass, but he still trusted what God said and he moved according to that faith. And so, as humans, we have this need to know everything. We have this need to know every single detail about the plans that God says that he has for us. If God gives us a dream, we want to know, when is it going to happen? What is going to happen? Who is going to be involved? We want to know everything. And God doesn't move that way. God barely sometimes gives you a word. He will say pray or fast. And you're just like, what am I fasting for? Lord, a little bit of help over here. And that's when he's like, I'm watching. I'm watching what you're doing. I'm watching if you're going to move in faith based on what I've told you to do. Because sometimes we, and I say we because I do it all the time, I want something to happen and I ask for God, please, Lord, let this happen. And yet I'm sitting still. I'm sitting still. I am letting fear, I am letting doubt, I am letting outside opinions, I am letting everything else but faith move me. And we have to trust that God is going to redirect our path. It's a Bible verse. I can't quite remember from where, but it says, if you wait on the perfect day to plant, you will never plan. We need to stop waiting on the perfect day to act. The perfect date is today. Move in faith. God gave you the dream, that business idea, that song, that book to write, that podcast to start. He has given you so many things, and yet you say you have faith in God, but yet you're not doing anything. You are not using the talents that God has placed in you for His glory. And remember, God does not give us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sober mind. So, how are you going to, from now on, show God with your actions, not with your words, with your actions, that you have faith in Him and that you trust that everything that He promised to you will come to pass? If you have enjoyed this episode, please make sure that you like, share, and comment down below what is one thing that God has asked you to do that you have not yet stepped out in faith. If you are not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I post my videos, because it will be every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central Time. Also, stay tuned for the next episode because I will be spilling the tea on myself. Now, thank you for watching.